the bottom of this piece is actually supposed to be pulled back a bit, so I'm going to alt right click on the bottom of this, deselect these two, 3 to go to side view, Z for wireframe, and just pull it back according to the reference. So that looks okay. We may want to get rid of these vertices just to make it look a little nicer, so we can take these two and do Alt M at last and maybe slide this over slightly with G twice, and then merge all of these at the center. And do one more merge, I guess. That should be fine. Still looks okay, so that looks good. Now what we want to do is alt right click on this, 3 to go to side view, and Z for wireframe. And we just want to start bringing this across over to here. But first we have this downward angle like this. And you can kind of see it in this reference how it goes down a bit. But I think this one's a bit more obvious here, where it goes at a pretty steep angle downward here. So we want to do that first. We're going to do E to extrude, right click to cancel, drag these over. S, Y, and then 0 to flatten it out on the Y axis. And then we're going to select this one and just bring it down to where it's supposed to be. Now what we want to do is create this outer part of the door, which would be like this area right here, the part that goes up and around the window and around to the back. So we're going to do Control R, left click, right click, and just start moving these vertices into position. This bottom one, we want to keep this a straight line, so just do G twice to slide it over. And that should be fine. Then we want to take these 2 points, E to extrude, and then just bring them up this way, all the way to the top of the window here. And then I'm going to angle this sort of like this, so that we can continue this around. We can actually do that now. Select these two, E to extrude, and then R to rotate. E to extrude, R to rotate, and then E to extrude, S, Y, and then 0 to make it totally flat on the Y axis. So there's that. Probably what we should have done first though is I'm going to select all these, actually all these top ones. Press 1 to go to front view and drag these over to the outer part of the window. Maybe needs to go a little closer to here. And then do the same for these, except line it up with this other part of the window. And I think maybe these top ones need to go in some. Kind of like that. The rest of these vertices I think need to be moved out further as well, so just get all those and then drag them out a little further. And do the same for these. Alt right click on this, grab it on the X and snap it to this point, and then possibly drag it out a little bit further to better line up with the outside of the bus. Now what we want to do is probably get rid of these vertices down here. We don't really need them. We will just merge these up. So select both, Alt M at last, and then you can do Shift R to repeat just to lower the vertex count. Alt right click on this, 3 for side view, Z for wireframe, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and bring this over. We want to bring it all the way to the outside of this door here, just as we did with this top one, so we can make some connections here. So we can take these 4 and press F. And we need another loop cut here, so we can do Control R, left click, right click, and then continue filling in these faces. By using F. So we've got some interesting shading here. I think one thing we can do is merge them all together to help to improve the shading. So we can select these two, Alt M at last, these two, and continue the process. And I think I want to take these and snap them on the x-axis to these lower ones just to make sure that they are still aligned. And to do vertex snapping, just grab it on the X, hold Control, and snap it there. So now what we can do is just select all these, E to extrude, right click to cancel, bring it to the center. Press 1 to go to front view and bring these up until it matches right here, and bring the rest of these up until it matches the top, and press 3 for side view, and you can adjust them in this view as well by using G. So that's the beginning of that. But it'd be nice to have a little more curvature up here. So we're going to do Control R, left click, right click, press 1 to go to front view, Z for wireframe, bring these up. That's just going to help make this look a little bit nicer of a curve. And we could also use more curvature in this area. So if we do Control R, left click, right click, and then reposition these on the outside of the window for this one, and this one on the outside of the door right here, because this is supposed to follow the outside of the door. The rest of these should be fine. So now we have a shape like this. You can even go to front view, Z for wireframe, select all these, just make sure you get all of them, and bring this over to get the curvature that we want. You could even snap it on the x-axis if you wanted, but I think I'm just going to bring it in slightly. And then to give this better shape, we're just going to do Control B and do a bevel so that we have more curvature, or at least better curvature. So now we can alt right click on this set of vertices, 3 for side view, E to extrude, right click to cancel, and start bringing this back. The point that we want to stop is about right here, because this is when it starts to get pulled back upward again. So right here is approximately where we want to stop, and this will give us a good start to our bus. So we can save this by going to File and Save.